What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Respect. This movie is directed by Liesl, Tommy. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome! Hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like any of the videos, awesome! Hit that like button, as well as commenting below on any video that you watch, including this one. So, Respect is the latest autobiographical film, I think Ray or Bohemian Rhapsody. This time it actually focuses on Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin, who's played by Jennifer Hudson in this movie, was a very famous musician. She became one of the greatest singers of all time. And this movie, for 2.5 hours, chronicles her life. It chronicles from when she was very young, dealing with the darkness, dealing with her stern/religious father, who's played by Forrest Whitaker, and then her eventual kind of rise to with all the music that she came out with, how she kind of, took a trajectory for a woman singer and turned it into a very important role. She became an activist. She was very much with Martin Luther King. And this movie shows it. This movie, for the most part, shows her trajectory to becoming the world famous singer that she ended up becoming. And so with that said, when it comes to autobiographical musicals or movies or anything that deals with singers, it's really difficult in its own aspect to come out with something that is like 2.5 hours long, because you have to condense a lot of material. For instance, about 40 to 50 minutes of this movie, we see her as a kid, and then the rest of the movie is her as an adult. It may actually be a little bit less than that, but we see, a very big portion as a kid. And then you have to bring in, like, her husband, you have to bring in her friends, her sisters, everybody she was involved with, her manager, who's played by Maron, and you have to kind of find a way to make it work for 2.5 hours. Apparently there's a 6-part documentary, which seems more logical when it comes to a singer that's important like Aretha Franklin. So, like Bohemian Rhapsody and Ray, the problems I had with those movies were the person playing the main character is not the problem, because they're the best part of the movie. But the movie suffers because they have to condense so much of their life into such a short period of time when you're watching it. So the question remains, does it do that, like the Bohemian Rhapsody and Ray thing, or does it actually succeed and give us, a good amount of material that justifies this, 2.5 hour runtime, or just being a single movie? And honestly, this fits in the Ray and Bohemian Rhapsody territory, where they're films that really just don't give us enough, don't really give us the power of who the character was. Yes, we see some of the darkness. Yes, we see some of the, character interactions with who she was and how she became famous for who she was. And, for instance, like her interactions with her abusive husband, or her interactions with her father, the Forrest Whitaker character, the way she created songs, the way she just was able to sing like the heavens and stuff like that, how she was very religious and very activist. But the problem is, there's so much to her life that it just can't hold under the weight of even 2.5 hours. I was talking to some people online, and they were like, "Oh, this movie's 2.5 hours." I'm like, it almost has to be to have any kind of semblance of just how important she was as a person and individual. But her character, who she was, deserves a better, longer documentary, something that will truly show the power of Aretha Franklin, and this movie just doesn't do it. Now, with that said, the acting in this movie is absolutely incredible. That's what makes the movie work. Jennifer Hudson's 100% Oscar worthy. She's fantastic. She gives a performance of similar to something like, what she was like in Dreamgirls, and she is just a talent to behold when it comes to an actress, because not only can she sing, but she can act on a different level than most actors or actresses who can sing. This is like what, Jamie Foxx did with Ray, or to an extent what Rami Malek did, of course, with Bohemian Rhapsody. But I think it's so much better. I think we really get a sense of who Aretha Franklin was as an individual, not in the story sense, but on her soul and her, who she was when she sang, and how she was so kind of bogged down by her, her husband and her father, and the way the males were in like the 60s and 70s and so on and so forth, how she kind of broke through the mold. And she's just, this movie is just very substandard, that it really kind of hampers down the fact of how good Jennifer Hudson is in the movie. So even though the movie's entertaining, I won't give it that. I'll give it that at least, but she's just so overpowering, so good in the role that she's in, Jennifer Hudson, that it's crazy how the movie just can't handle, the weight of her, performance. So I expect her to at least, be considered for an Oscar or maybe win the Oscar. It just depends on how the year's going to roll out. But she's really good in the role, and it's just fantastic to watch her bring Aretha Franklin into the limelight again, because, she was a really popular figure. And, Forrest Whitaker is also really good in this movie, but he's always been really good in most of the things he does. His kind of devil inside, where he's very conflicted about trying to keep his family together, trying to keep his daughter safe, but having the religious aspect and having the deal with the problems, situations of that scenario, and just how he is an individual that really loves his daughter, wants his daughter to succeed, but he wants to hold her like she's 12 years old or so on and so forth. Even though he's not in it a whole lot, but he's still in it, is enough to be a great supporting character and somebody that could possibly get an Oscar nomination. But Forrest Whitaker is really good in this movie. He really is good as a character actor, somebody who is really a force for Aretha Franklin herself. Her dad was really important to her. And then we have people like I said, Marc, Maron, who's really good in this movie. We have, of course, Marlon Wayans, who plays the first husband. And for the most part, the rest of the cast is just there as kind of a back filter. She has a couple sisters that are important to the movie. For the most part, it deals with individuals that kind of, deal with her, kind of career in music. But I'll leave off this as one more kind of critique to this movie. I was really disappointed to see how her music kind of was formed in this movie. It's very similar to the problematic situation of Bohemian Rhapsody, where the music just kind of appears out of nowhere. There's no real kind of justification how it was created. When you come to a movie like this, you want to see her and how she kind of formed Respect and how she kind of formed her other famous songs. And, we hear a little bit about how she was using music from other artists, but I would have liked to see a little bit more with the creation of the songs themselves, not just kind of come out of thin air, which is a problem of pacing when it comes to a movie. Is when you have to push it forward and kind of have to skip things. But when you go, like I said, when you go to see Aretha Franklin, you're not going not only to see the performance, but kind of the songs that she created. So, but it's not a detriment to the director of Liesl Tommy. She does a really nice job as a director. I think this is like one of her first movies. I just wish I wish there was more, I guess you could say. So, but that'll do it. That'll be my take on Respect. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, let me know what you think of Aretha Franklin herself. Did you love the music? Are you looking forward to the movie? All that good stuff. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit the notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like any of these videos, awesome. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.